Alright, boys, so today we're talking about how AI could make you rich, but you're using it wrong. So, in OFM, in the space that we're in my opinion, AI can make you a lot of money and can help you scale a lot, and just in general test more things out, to kind of figure out what you should be, focusing on when it comes to marketing. But a lot of people are using AI incorrectly, um, in terms of basically using AI to help push out more content for real creators versus full AI creators. So, before I continue, I do want to say AI creators can make money. I'm making this video to basically explain what I think is better and what can make you more money. But I'm not saying AI creators. If you're watching this video and you do AI creators, or you're thinking of doing that, I'm not saying it can't make you money. It can. It 100% can. There's people that make 20K plus with it. But in my opinion, you have a real model and using AI to push out more content from that real model, that's where the real money is. So, AI creators. As good AI is now, having a full AI creator makes your life a lot harder. There's no real person to fully reference from for exactly what you need. Sales and chats is where most of the money is made. If you don't really know, you know, if you're new to this, with OFM, you know, obviously the massive influencers like Sophie Rain, they could make millions from just subs, but that's not realistic for an average girl. The average girl will get some subs and most money made with the chatters on the messages. So, SOW content specifically, things like customs, is very hard to make correctly with full AI, right? So, basically, what I mean by this is when you have a full AI creator, you are limiting yourself a lot when it comes to sales because there's going to be a lot of things that people might request and you just won't be able to make. Like, simple as you won't be able to make like perfect, even if your AI tool is able to make some type of generic video style NSFW, it won't make it, perfectly exactly what they asked for. Whereas a real model, if it's something very specific, like a very specific custom where they talk in it and they do something very specific, I can't really go into full detail on the YouTube video, obviously, but stuff like that is where you're gonna be missing out a lot of money on, right? Like I said, sales is where most money is made, and a lot of subscribers are willing to pay for a FaceTime call or like a video call. Obviously, an AI can't really do that. There is some tools to sort of do it, but it's very risky if it goes wrong and it's obvious as AI. Obviously, it won't work. Um, and like I said, with customs, people are going to always be requesting for very specific things that they're into. And like I said, even though AI is very good where it's at right now, it's not fully there yet for that type of content, right? It's there for, just simple reels, simple photos, whatever. But it's not really there for the, like I said, the customs that are very specific that people might want to see. Um, and then marketing can have a lot of issues. So creating creating perfect AI content to push out can take longer than it could take a real model to do. So pretty much, depending on what you do for marketing, um, for it to basically be very perfect and not have any like issues with it, like with the AI, how it looks, stuff like that, for it to actually look correct and not like just some fake AI video, it can take sometimes even longer than it will take a real model to do. At the end of the day, of course, a lot of creators can be lazy or just don't have time, but you know, some models can take content or reels within a couple of minutes or within an hour. Whereas sometimes with AI, things don't always go as planned. Sometimes maybe the reference image you used or the prompt you have, or even the video you're face swapping from, might have bad angles that creates issues with the AI, and then your generated image or video turn out to look bad. And before you figure out or find other videos to face swap from whatever, it might take a while. And by the time you've actually got a lot of content ready to push out, sometimes it actually takes as long or even longer than a real model could potentially get done. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Um, Now, what you should use AI for instead, in my opinion, and this is basically what we use it for, is use it to test out more niches and content strategies for your real model. So for example, obviously here I put images to use for reels in different niches. So what I mean by this is you can obviously use like Nano Banana Pro and have a reference of your model's face. And let's say you find like a new niche from research, like a teacher, for example, let's just say. You can then write a prompt down saying like make my character into a teacher in a classroom taking a selfie, or looking, or like writing on a board or something like that, right? Anything like that. You can do some stuff like that, test out different niches, right? That's just one teacher niche. You can do another one where maybe it's a emo or a goth girl, even change your hair color, whatever. And you can test out all these different things, and then obviously that way, once you know what worked, you can scale it even with potentially just real videos for a model. But it gives you a lot of the word I'm looking for is like a lot of freedom, I guess, to test out things without having to put it all on your model. Because obviously, if you tell your model like we want to test out 10 different niches all at once, she might think it's too much work and just only do a few. Whereas with this, she can stick to what she currently does. Obviously, try to push out a bit more while you're using AI to try out new things. But yeah, so like I put here, images to use reels for in different niches. So obviously, like I just explained, you can use images for a reel. You can just put in CapCut and make it like 10 seconds long. Then obviously just post for Reddit, X, etc. Just simple AI into images. Obviously you can use Facebook for reels. Now, like I said, obviously you can do this with AI creators too, but the difference is you can ask your model to take a specific selfie of like a specific angle, so that the AI can properly reference it and generate properly. And another thing that I think is quite important is just in general like quick content that some might ask for. So for example, showing hand, or like showing like a peace sign up with her fingers for verification. Obviously little stuff like that you should have prepared anyway. But if you don't, or if it's something a bit more different than usual, then it will help you a lot, using AI for this, because if your model is not available at a specific time, you can just quickly use AI, create a picture of whatever they said to do, and then send it to them, and you don't have to bother the model. And yeah, endless ideas you can think of to create using AI for your real model. So pretty much what I put here, literally any type of niche you want to test out, any type of content you want to test out, whether it's face swap or reels or images, anything like that. There's so many different things you can do. Any type of trend or viral video you see, you can literally test out yourself with AI. If you see a completely different niche that you've not seen before, I don't know, something super random, I guess like a news report isn't very random. You might have seen that before, but even like a news report, you can do that. If you see a video, you can literally quickly recreate it, simple as that with AI. And then AI content will look a lot better when you have I already explained this, but when you have a real model, you're able to reference from with perfect angled pictures she can send you. So like I said, obviously, this is one of the main things for me as well, that, in my opinion, this is why having a real model and just using AI with her is the better option, because of that, right? You don't have to worry about, your reference images being bad, or, basically anything like that, really. Like, you have a real model to work with, right? So if you ask for something, as long as it's not something that she's not happy with, she's gonna happily make it, and then you can use those images for AI. And yeah, pretty much overall, this is why, if you're doing AI careers only, in my opinion, you could be making a lot more money, especially to the guys. If there's anyone watching this right now that is actually making money with AI careers, you've already got experience with AI. You know how AI works. You know what to do, how it works best. Which means if you now sign a real model, you would be ahead of a lot of people, because you know how AI works and you're very good with it. So you could be making a lot more money. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, make sure to join my free Telegram, guys. It'll be in the description. on my free Telegram channel. And yeah, see you guys there.